Hello, and today we're going to be talking about the year of maintenance, what I would consider to be the only year out of my yearly themes that was pretty unsuccessful rather than being successful in some shape or form, even if it wasn't successful in the ways that I thought. The reason I think that the year of maintenance wasn't successful is because it didn't modify my disposition. And that's not to say that someone else doing the year of maintenance couldn't have done a better job. I think that me personally, the way that I approached the year of maintenance was about maintaining the way things are rather than maintenance in the way a technician would maintain things by tweaking and adjusting and making sure that things were running smoothly. I looked at it more as a way to just crystallize the way that things are and stay exactly where I am. And the reason that that didn't work, which might be obvious given how I've explained the successes of the year themes, is that effectively what that looked like was stagnation. The year of maintenance did not push me in any new directions, and I think there is an inherent entropy to life, and if you aren't progressing forwards even slightly, you're actually being pushed back. And I think that the year of maintenance failed for that reason. It didn't push me in a direction, in any direction, even if it was a worse direction. In some ways, I would find out that that was a worse direction and abandon things pretty easily. But because there was this slow decline into stagnation, I ultimately found that year to be very uninspired and also found it to be a little bit depressing, and not in a depression kind of way, which was a period of time where I didn't actually do any year themes, but in a way where I just looked back at the year and thought, what even was that? And why did I even do that? I think there is another way that you could do the year of maintenance, especially if you've had a year that's very crazy and your life has really been changed in major ways and you want to just sort of like solidify a bunch of things. But the year of maintenance for me was very much a year of stagnation, and I think a lot of that was the theme that I'd picked, but also the way that I had thought about the theme. And not only that, but also the way that I approached considering the theme. And I think all of those weren't as considered as they could have been. And this is why I really emphasize the importance of considering themes and trying them out for a couple of weeks and see how they feel and how they change your life in those couple of weeks before trialing them before you actually buy, and having a full year. And that's why I do my yearly themes from sort of ramping up the new yearly theme from September all the way to December before making it official in the new year. And I don't start it Jan 1st. I let it ramp up naturally. And the reason I do that is because I think it's really important to pick the right theme. And sometimes you'll try a theme for a couple of months, you'll talk to people about it, and you'll just think, you'll think this is the one. And after a couple of months, you realize this isn't a theme. There's something wider or something bigger that could be the theme. So I think that all of that was the reason that the theme did not suit the year that I was going to have, and also did not suit me in the time period. And the way that I was bringing myself to the theme of maintenance was not one that felt additive. It felt extremely neutral and didn't feel inspired, and wasn't inspiring me. It wasn't a motivational theme. It didn't motivate me or inspire me to move in a certain direction. And for all of those reasons, the year of maintenance was one that I would consider to be unsuccessful. I wouldn't consider it to be a failure because I learned a lot about what makes a good theme. And for me, that means something that changes my disposition in a way that feels really meaningful and tangible. Right now, I'm battling with two different themes that could become next year's theme, and I think that both of them have places in my life, and perhaps I'll do one the next year and one this year. But I actually think that usually by the time 1 year rolls around, I have whole different ambitions and goals and themes that are calling to me. And so sometimes you have to reconcile which theme feels more important and what theme could be potentially subsumed under the theme. So for example, if you did a year of excellence, for example, and a year of health, you have to sort of decide whether or not you would trade health for excellence. And that's why I don't recommend having more than one theme, because the theme is a disposition that orients you in a certain direction, And if you have two, then what happens when you're at a crossroads, and what happens when they conflict. So, but sometimes one theme can be subsumed into another theme, and that could be something like the year of happiness and the year of gratitude could be two themes that are similar, but which one drives the year? And ultimately, this is something that I talked about, thought about last year, and ultimately I thought that the year of happiness was not a. I ultimately thought that the year of gratitude would drive happiness more than the year of happiness would drive gratitude, and so I ultimately decided that this year's theme, sneak peek for tomorrow's video, I guess, this year's theme was the year of gratitude, and I'll talk more about how that went tomorrow, I guess. But that's the year of maintenance, which ultimately became a year of stagnation and a year of inaction. And as Better Ideas, the YouTuber, likes to say, inaction is a slow death, and I sort of learned that lesson that year. So that's all of my reflections on the year of maintenance. I'll talk more later.